Hi YouTube, I'm back. How fun is my short hair? I think I'm gonna go shorter with it, by the way. Anyways, I'm coming back to YouTube, but before I fully come back with monthly vlogs, I do just wanna have a chat. Let's talk about the reason I stopped posting on YouTube. Number one, I was getting burnt out. Like doing a weekly YouTube video on top of trying to post 2 TikToks a day on top of 3 to 4 reels a week was a lot, especially just coming up with the content and feeling authentic. And then obviously editing takes so much time and I like to do it myself because I'm controlling. It was just too much. So I was getting burnt out on the one hand. On the other hand, I had a lot of things happen to me this summer that I just want to talk about because I feel like you guys should know if I'm bringing you into my life and if I'm doing vlogs with you. It's not only gonna be the good stuff. I'm obviously gonna mainly show the good stuff because who wants to watch negativity, right? Unnecessary, but I obviously have to be authentic and vulnerable sometimes as well. My last YouTube video was when I went to Portugal. This is gonna be tough. So basically I just dealt with a lot of death and grief this summer. That's the truth. One of my friends passed away at the end of May. And that was difficult on every level. I don't know if I can even describe, all the different levels, but on the one hand, obviously it was unexpected. He was super young. He was such an incredible person, healthy, it was so unexpected and so difficult. And that just getting that text changed me. And it was someone that I had messaged 2 days before and I had been texting with a couple weeks before, and my brain couldn't wrap my head around it. And then my brain couldn't wrap my head around the fact that death is real and it will come knocking on your door, and it's not just for old people and it's not just when you expect it. And that really pulled out a rug from underneath me that I can't even explain. On top of that, third thing is just piggybacking off of that is the fact that death can come knocking on my door and it could come knocking on someone else's door that I know. And I knew, obviously, you rationally know, obviously people die and they don't just die of old age, they die all the time and people get illnesses all the time. But I had personally never experienced death like this, of someone young, of someone I knew, of someone I was just talking to. I knew other people who have passed away young, people that I had known in person, but there was something about it being within my world that just made me see life so differently. So basically he passed away. I was in the middle of moving out of London and moving out of my flat, which was a nightmare because I've been living there for 3.5 years. So there was a lot of stuff. I am a little bit of a hoarder, so that was a lot of work. And then I was in the middle of moving. I was doing it all myself, pretty much. I had a few friends come and help, and my boyfriend helped too, but I was doing the heavy lifting, and I pulled my back. And that was bad. That was bad. I was already the move was already so horrible. I was so emotional about my friend. I cried every day. Not all day, but a lot of the day was spent crying. And I was moving, and I remember I took down a painting and my painting had ripped a bit of the wall off, the painting from the wall, and I was sobbing and I called my landlord. I was like, I'm so sorry. It was so bad. Then I pulled my back. That was really rough. Thankfully, I only had a couple of things left to do, and my friends came and helped me, which was I was so grateful for. But I couldn't lean up. I couldn't walk. I was like a vieja, leaned over all day. I couldn't walk. I was in so much discomfort. And then that night I ended up having a really bad panic attack. And I've had so many panic attacks. I was diagnosed by a psychologist with anxiety at 14. I'm no stranger to a panic attack. But this one was different. And because of the death of my friend, I really thought I was dying. Really genuinely thought I was dying in a different way of a panic attack because I knew that there was a potential I could be dying. Then I finally go to Madrid. I was only in Madrid, I had an apartment for a couple months, but I was gonna be in and out. It wasn't it was just kind of a summer little thing. I do want to move to Madrid full time, but I have to figure out other stuff before I do that. So just for the summer to be there. And 5 days after I move, my grandfather passes. This was a little bit of a different situation. He was on hospice. I think the day that I moved to Madrid, he was like officially in hospice, I think. But he was not doing good. And hospice was like, he doesn't have a lot of time. So 5 days after I moved, I did have the perspective of my friend, because that was only like, I think that was only a month after my friend had passed. So I did have a bit of gratitude of how lucky he was, number one, to live a full life, and number two, how lucky I was to have a grandfather. I had more gratitude than anything else, but it's still difficult, and like the whirlwind of it all. And then my grandmother and him had been together for like 68 years. She was not doing too good. She was not doing too good at all. And I was spending a lot of time with her and trying to help her as much as I could, but I was like, girl, this is rough. I was also dealing with stuff of people in my life not treating me like I deserve to be treated. So I had people, you know, that were close to me not even ask me how I was doing. Like, I gave the eulogy at my grandfather's mass and talked about my friend, and I talked about, you know, the difficulties of death and whatever, and I also talked about gratitude and stuff. But like, everyone knew that I had just moved out of London and had gone to Madrid 5 days before, and like no one was like, hey Vero, like how are you? Like, this is rough. You've had a rough time. No one. And there were people who were acting really inappropriately and really, how do I say it? Yeah, inappropriate is probably the best. Like, just like not knowing, like not being really sensitive to what was going on. So that was really tough. That was really tough. And then whenever I went back to Madrid, then I was in London for a bit. Wasn't doing super hot. Also, my back bruise and stuff, it was a nightmare. I should have gone to the doctor way sooner than I have. I'm just kind of dealing with everything now, a couple months later. July was a lot of cooling down. There was some other drama that happened that really affected me, of people just like committed to seeing me like the bad guy. Like, people want me to think that I'm out there to hurt them, or out there to offend them, or out there to do something bad, and it's like so far from the truth. And then they attack me as if I've done those things to them. It's really sad, quite honestly. I'm always gonna defend myself, and I know what's true and I know what's not true, and I know I can be, you know, a difficult person at times, but I also know when I'm like, you're completely misunderstanding it, and like, I'm happy to talk, but you can't offend me and expect me to be okay with it. Especially dealing with everything I was dealing with. I was like, this ain't it. So that wasn't fun. Then my friend came to visit me. That was lovely. We had a really nice couple days with her. And then my other friend came to visit me, and we were having a lovely time. And we were in Barcelona for a night, and my grandmother was unresponsive. And so she had to go to the hospital. She was in ICU. She had had a rough couple of weeks at some points, but she was doing fine-ish until she wasn't. And so imagine I get a call that I'll probably never speak to her again, as I'm on my way to my friend's wedding. Yeah. So that was rough, because obviously, like, I'm not gonna make it about me. I think if you show up to someone's wedding or to someone's birthday or to anything celebrating someone's life, like, you can't make it about you. You just gotta show up and be there. And so that's what I did. And I had maybe 2 friends who I told what was going on. One of my friends, because she was there with me when I was getting the calls and stuff. And then another friend just because I told her about it, because she knew kind of what was going on with my family and stuff. So that was rough. That was rough. She ended up waking up, and I was able to speak to her on the phone again, which was huge for me, because now I actually remember my last phone call with her. Before, I wouldn't have remembered my last phone call with her. But it was really tough. It was really tough. And then I have a week traveling with my boyfriend. It was hectic in the sense of, I'm also like on the phone with my mom all day, helping her deal with logistical stuff of her father just passing 2 months before, or 3 months before, whatever it was. And now her mom's about to pass. Like, it's logistical. My mom doesn't have kids who live with her, so the only support system is her friends, and then me on a phone call with a 6-hour time difference. So obviously it was like tough. It was a nice vacation, great vacation. It did rain a little bit, which I cried about, if we're being honest. I did cry about that. I was like, I just want the sun and to be by the beach. I need it. I got a little bit of that, so I'm grateful for that. And then I trained back to Madrid, and when I get back from the train, guess what? Get the phone call, your grandmother doesn't have a lot of time. And so I already had a flight back to Miami, and then she passed the next day. And so that was weird because I was in my own world. Like when I'm in Miami, I feel it differently, like them passing. But when I'm there, I'm like, I'm in my own bubble. Like I'm choosing to pretend that she is still alive. I was like, that's what we're gonna pretend here. And I'm gonna live in my bubble and I'll deal with the emotions when I get to Miami, because I'm grateful that I don't have to be forced with it right now, and I'm gonna choose that. And so that's what I did. I had maybe a couple days, and I was also in the middle of like packing up all my stuff and dealing with everything. So it wasn't like I was fully on vacation, I wasn't, but I did have that benefit. And then I flew back to Miami, and then I had some other issues with people that used to be in my life. They're no longer in my life. But they were in my life, and they just like didn't treat me or my mother with any basic dignity or respect. Like people who used to be in my home and my mom has treated like family didn't even say in person when they saw her or me, hey, I'm sorry for your loss. So yeah, someone I saw before the funeral didn't do that. So then when that person tried to come up to me at the funeral and say, I'm sorry for your loss, I went, no. She was dead when you saw me 3 days ago. So I don't know why you're gonna pretend that she just died, because she didn't. So be a human being. And I can tell those people and certain people just haven't dealt with real grief. Like really as an adult understanding what just happened. That like my mom doesn't have parents anymore. That sucks. Like I just had 2 of the most important people in my life pass and a friend of mine pass. Like, hello, treat me with some level of self-respect and treat me with some level of dignity and like empathy. I would never, ever treat a random person like that. So the fact that anyone in my life who's known me treated me that way, or my mom that way, let me tell you, it did not go down well for me, and it won't go down well for me ever. That's just so unacceptable. Like if someone at a random restaurant or at a gas station was like, I just lost both of my grandparents within 3 months and a friend of mine passed away, I would be like, oh my God, can I hug you? Like, I'm so sorry. And some people I know couldn't even do that. Like, they just did it at the funeral, even though they had seen me out in the same vicinity a couple days before. So that was just tough. I'm like, I deserve more than this. I do. I'm surprised I'm not crying. I'm so impressed with myself. Yeah, and then it was just dealing with the logistics of both of my grandparents dying. I don't think they ever truly thought they were gonna die, so they really hoarded some things. And I spent the entire month of September, I don't think there was more than maybe 1 day where I didn't do something related to the death of my grandparents. It just didn't happen. I was always helping my mom out with something. So yeah, that's why I've been off YouTube. I'm surprised I've been posting on Instagram and TikTok. Like, it's been challenging. It's been very challenging, and it's been very emotional. I spent like 3 weeks in October doing nothing. Like I was like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to see people. I don't want to pretend to be hee 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 ha ha ha. I'm decompressing. Like I gotta get back to me, because I haven't felt like myself for months, which is like kind of selfish in a lot of ways. Of like, I think there's a lot of ego involved in that, which is like on the one hand a good thing, that like I give myself a lot of love and respect and like boundaries and stuff. But on the other hand, it's like, welcome to adulting. This is adulting. Where like not everything's gonna be butterflies and rainbows all the time, and life is only gonna get more difficult. That's one of the things that I'm struggling with. It's like this is life just starting and how difficult it can be. And this isn't even that difficult in comparison to what a lot of people go through. Like I don't want this to be misconstrued, and I don't understand my privilege, or I don't understand how lucky I am and how many people would probably want to switch lives with me right now. I'm very aware of all of that. but it doesn't make it not challenging. I don't want to say it doesn't make it easier, because it does make it easier. I think gratitude makes a lot of things easier, but it's still grief. It's still dealing with logistics. It's still fighting your brain from understanding what the is going on, and just dealing with life changes. It's just crazy. It's been really, really, really difficult. I'm really proud of myself for not crying right now. Like, I'm impressed. I usually cry quite easily about these topics, because let me tell you, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster. And so I do want to be back on YouTube. I love YouTube. I love long form content. Like, I just yapped for, I don't even know how many minutes. Like, I love doing this stuff, and I love the community, and I love how many people have been DMing me about it. And I wanted to bring it back sooner, but then life just kept being like, girl, relax. YouTube will come back. And I think starting again in January is a vibe, right? Like, that's a vibe. I could probably keep talking for a while. The next videos are gonna be fun. They're gonna be fun, they're gonna be cute, and I'm gonna do it monthly, which I think is gonna help me a lot. And then maybe we'll see if I do it twice. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the vlogs progress. I have been doing at least one daily vlog on Instagram, so you're getting a bit of more of my daily life on there. So yeah, I'm sorry to be depressing. I'm sorry that this isn't like happy-go-lucky vlog. I know this is not what people want to see when they go onto the internet, is like how depressing other people's lives are too, or even thinking about the way that your life is depressing. Like, it's not fun, but this is me just being honest about what's been going on and why I've been off YouTube. This is probably the most information I can even give you over the last couple months. It's tough. Grief will really change you. It really will. So, but anyways, I'm gonna make it happy again. And if there's any other times where I really want to talk about these kind of more depressing conversations and these more depressing topics, I definitely want to have an open space to do that, because I know it's also, you know, nice to see people talk about real stuff too, not just the good stuff. But as long as at the same time we still want to make it a happy place. All right, I think I've done enough yapping. So monthly vlogs are coming. I'm gonna bring you guys into the fun stuff. I'll bring you guys into the vacations I go on. I'll bring you guys along with me as much as I can. If there's anything specific you wanna see from me, my DMs are open, the comment section's open. You let me know, all right? See you. Thank you for tuning in.